remember how you had asked me earlier how we can distinguish between actions and nouns?
Yeah.
Right, and the answer back then was just...
know the vocabulary from chapter 5?
Yeah, just know your chapter 5 vocab because that's where the actions were, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was the answer back then because we didn't know much about actions, right? But it's not a very sustainable solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to be doing in this chapter actually is we're going to be diving deep into actions, right? We're going to be learning everything there is to learn about actions. So of all these elements, right, of the course structures, the before is, after is, doer, receiver, we've looked at all of them in a bit more detail, right? But we haven't really gone into actions,
That's true.
right, in that much detail, right? So that's what we're going to be doing,
All right.
right? And once we do that, the answer to your question will be clearer, right? You'll be able to distinguish a lot more easily.
All right.
Okay. So an action is, remind me.
Is a verb. It talks about something that happens.
Yeah, something that happened, right? A verb. So there are two kinds of actions, right? We have two kinds of actions. We have past tense actions, which are, take a guess.
Actions that happened in the past.
Yeah, something that's already happened, right? And then we have present/future actions.
Present/future?
Yeah, present and future, which is, you know what present is, right? Present tense is
something that's happening right now.
Something that's happening right now, and future tense is
something that will happen
something
in the future.
That will happen in the future. And actually in Arabic, present and future are the same.
So how do we distinguish between present and future in Arabic then, if
So
they look the same?
You mean how do we know how to translate?
Yeah.
As present or as future?
Yeah.
Context will show, right?
Okay.
Context will show. And you'll see when we get there, right?
All right.
Not that hard. So we have two kinds of actions, past and present/future.
Okay.
So we're going to be starting with past tense actions.
Okay.
But before we get into our past tense, have you ever heard the word conjugation?
I have heard of it, but I can't really say that I know what it means.
Okay, well, at least it's familiar, right? So conjugation, it's a jargony word, but the concept behind it is actually pretty simple. So let's look at some examples here. So I would say, for example, he eats, right?
Mm-hmm.
He eats, but I would say she, or let's say they, what? Eats?
No, they eat.
They eat, right? They eat. We say he eats, and we say they eat.
Mm-hmm.
What do you notice about the action?
It changed?
It changed, and it's changing based on what?
Well, the doer is different?
Yeah, it changes based on the doer. So we say he eats, right? But we don't say they eats. We say they eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'd say she eats, right? We eat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the action changes based on what the doer is.
So that's all a conjugation is?
Yep, that's what a conjugation is.
Okay, it's not that complicated
Yeah,
then.
not that complicated. It's a jargony sounding word, but easy concept. So it's just, in summary, an action changing based on what the doer is, or who the doer is.
Okay.
Okay, so that is what we will be looking at in Arabic as well. We're going to be studying our past tense conjugations.
Okay. Past
Okay.
tense conjugations. Okay.
So the way an action conjugates or changes form in Arabic is, let's do this by looking at an example. So do you remember the word ja'ala?
Made?
Yeah, made, right? Past tense action meaning made. Ja'ala. So this is actually what we call a base, like the base form of an action.
What do you mean by the base form?
And the reason I'm saying base form is because the way actions conjugate in Arabic are actually by adding a little ending to the base.
Okay.
Right? So this is a base form, ja'ala. And then when you add an ending, that'll tell you what the doer is, right? Who the doer is. So
okay.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Right? So ja'ala, for example, if I were to say ja'ala plus ta, that would translate as you made, right? You made.
And so where are we getting the you from?
From this ending, ta.
Okay, so that ta is telling us you.
Yep, the ta is an indication of the you,
Okay.
right? Another example, if I were to say ja'ala plus the ending t, that would translate as you feminine, made.
And we're getting the you feminine from the T?
Yep, from the T. So T tells us you feminine. You get the idea,
I
right?
think so.
We have a base form of an action, right? And then you add some ending to it, and that tells you what the doer is.
Okay.
That tells you what the doer is.
Okay.
And we'll go through them in a more organized way. I'm just doing this to introduce the concept.
Okay. And so so in Arabic there were a lot more pronouns than we have in English,
Yep.
right? Like you, feminine, for example.
14 of them.
Yeah. So each one of them is going to have a unique ending to tell us what the doer. Because, like, for example, in English, you say he eats, she eats, right? So it's kind of the same conjugation for he and she.
Yeah. That's a good question. And yes, every single pronoun in Arabic has a unique ending.
Okay.
So all 14 of them.
Okay.
Okay, you ready to look at the chart? Go through it fully?
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so here is our conjugation chart in Arabic. So we have our 14 pronouns,
Okay.
and every single one of them has a unique ending. So you notice how we have ja'ala, right?
Mhm.
In each of these, you see ja'ala, 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 and then you see something at the end,
Okay.
right? And that ending is highlighted for you. So the highlighted portion is the ending. We're going to call it the ending indicator. And that ending indicator is what tells us, do you remember?
Tells us who the doer is.
Right, it tells us who the doer is, right? So if I were to look at the hua form, right, hua, which is he,
Mm-hmm.
what's the ending indicator there? It's highlighted.
Just the fatha.
Right, so if you see a past tense action ending in a fatha, you know that the doer is
He or it.
right, he, and then he/it made. Let's look at the one next to it, hum.
So the hua, it looks like the base form, because earlier when we were looking at them,
Mm-hmm.
we said that ja'ala is our base, and then we added things to it.
Yeah,
So the hua form is the same as the base.
the base form. Yep,
Okay.
the hua form is the same as the base form. Okay, and then if we look at the next one, hum, ja'alu, what do you see added extra at the end?
Wow, and alif.
Yeah, the waw and alif, right? So if you see a waw and alif, that tells you that the doer is
They.
right? They. What about the hiya? What do you think the ending indicator there is?
The
The ta, not just the ta. Look at what's highlighted.
does that fatha count? Is that highlighted
Yeah.
too? The
Yep, the fatha and the ta, right? The fatha and the ta
So
together.
both together make the ending
Yeah,
indicator?
both together. So everything that's highlighted is the ending indicator, including the haraka.
Okay.
So the fatha and the ta here tell us that the doer of this action is
She, it, they.
she, it, they, right? She, it, they. So if it's jalet, that fatha ta, that's she, it, they. And so on and so forth, right?
Okay.
So on and so forth. And so you're going to have to memorize this, right?
All right.
You're going to have to memorize this chart. And remember that each of these highlighted endings tells you what the doer is.
Okay.
Right? Tells you what the doer is. Are we clear on that?
Yeah. So in all of, the next row we have there's the sukun that's on the la, that's highlighted. So that is also part of the ending indicator.
Yep.
So,
Everything that's highlighted is part of the ending indicator,
all right.
including the harakats.
Okay.
Okay, so you are going to have to memorize this, right? And that's something you're going to have to do on your own time, but we will go through some observations, right?
Okay.
Point a few things out on this chart that'll make it easier for you to memorize.
Okay.
So one thing I want you to notice is look at this middle row for me. Can you read it out loud?
Anta ja'alta, antum ja'altum, anti ja'alti, antunna ja'altunna.
And then the one directly under Antunna, read that as well.
The both of you?
Yeah.
Antuma ja'altuma.
Do you notice anything about what you just read out loud?
They kind of rhyme.
They do rhyme, right? They do. And that's something that'll make it easier for you to memorize. So this middle row, the second person pronouns.
What's the
Second person means you're talking to someone.
Oh, so you. Oh, that's
You.
why they all have you in
Yeah,
front of them.
that's why they all
or
have you,
all.
right?
Okay.
So all the you versions, right, or second person, if you want the more technical term, rhyme with their pronoun. So you see anta, ja'al, ta.
Okay.
They both end in ta,
Oh,
right?
so that takes care of like a whole row.
That takes care of a whole row, right?
Okay.
So that makes memorization a lot easier.
Okay.
Antum, ja'al, tum, right? And ti, ja'al, ti, right?
So as
It
long
rhymes.
as I'm good with my pronouns, I should be able to recognize these.
Yes, and you should be good with your pronouns by now.
I am.
Okay, good. So, yeah, that takes care of that middle row for you.
Okay.
Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to point out about this chart is you notice a few of them have bolded boxes around them,
Yeah.
right? So these are the most common ones, right?
Okay.
They're the most common ones, and so focus most of your memorization time on these highlighted ones, right? These bolded ones,
Okay.
right? The other ones occur, you should know that they exist, right? But they're not as common. They're not as common, so you can focus on the bolded ones.
So know all of them, but put more energy into the bolded ones.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. Any questions about the chart?
No, I think it's just a matter of memorizing it.
Just a matter of memorizing it. Okay, let's do a little bit of practice to familiarize ourselves with the concept. Even if you haven't memorized it, you can peek at the chart for now, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to look at some actions, and you're going to tell me what the doer of the action is.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at the first one. خلقنا.
Okay, so my ending indicator is the na, right?
Mm-hmm. The na. And which one, we can go back and look at our chart, which one had a na on it?
We.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the sukun and the na.
It is the sukun and the na. Good
Okay.
other page there. So نحن جعلنا, right? Same thing here. نحن خلقنا, right? So the embedded doer in خلقنا is
We.
right? نحن. Good. And now you're looking at the chart, but eventually should be automatic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. كذبوا.
My ending indicator is the alif.
Not the alif, no.
But there's an alif?
There is an alif, right? But if you actually look at our ending indicators, most of them are made up of more than just one letter, one element,
Oh, okay.
right? So, and also if you have your vocab memorized, it'll be very easy to tell what the base, right?
Oh, so the base is kadhaba.
Right, the base is
deny.
kadhaba. So the extra is
oo,
right? And where in this chart do we see an extra oo?
They.
Yeah, right? The hum form or they, right? So the inside doer in kadhabu is
They.
right? Or hum. Okay, what about alimtu?
So alima is the base.
Mm-hmm.
Alim two is the ending indicator, or
Good.
the sukun and the
The
two.
sukun and the two.
So two. Oh, it's right here. I.
Yeah, the NF form or I. So the inside doer here is I or ana. What about hadaytum? I'm gonna ask you to do this one without peeking at the chart.
Oh, okay. I think I know this one because tum, it rhymes with entum.
Exactly, which means
It's you all.
yeah, you all, right? See, you already memorized it. Right, entum. So the doer, the embedded doer in hadaytum is entum. Okay, what about this one? Arsalta.
Arsalta. Oh, okay. This is another one. So the ta rhymes with anta, right?
Yeah.
The ta rhymes with anta, so anta is you.
Yep. Ta rhymes with anta. Anta means you. Right, so the doer inside arsalta is
You.
you or anta. Okay, what about ja'at?
Ja'at. The at is the ending indicator.
For
She, it, they.
yeah, she, it, they. Just like ja'alat, we have ja'at. So the doer here is she, it, they. Okay, last one.
Anzala. Wait, anzala is the base word.
It is the base form, and base form is the same as, do you remember?
Yeah. He.
The base form is just the same as he / it. Right? It's the first one in the chart. So that's the hua form.
Okay.
So is the concept clear?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, we have endings that attach to a base, right? And those endings tell us who the doer is.
Okay.
Right? That they tell us who the doer is. Pretty simple concept, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ready to translate these?
Okay.
Okay, let's translate. So خلقنا, right? We said the embedded doer was we, so that would translate as
We خلق, we create.
what tense are we looking at here?
Past. Oh, we created.
Right, past tense, right? So we created. Okay, كذبوا. كذب means
To deny.
right? So كذبوا is
They denied.
they denied. Good. You have your past tense there. علمت.
Alima was from ilm.
Which means
to know. Oh, I knew.
I knew. Good. هديتم.
Tum is you all. Hada from Huda, guidance. هديتم you all guide.
Guide. Remember the tense.
Oh, guided.
Right, guided. What about أرسلت?
أرسلت رسالة. Send. You sent.
Yeah, good. You sent. جاءت.
جاء was to come. She, it, they came.
Good. And last one, أنزل.
أنزل is to send down. He, it, sent down.
Good. He, it, sent down. Any questions?
No, I think it's clear.
Okay.
Just have to memorize the chart.
Yes. Make sure you do it.